Hello everybody, my name is Emah Purple and I am a writer among other things. If you are new here, welcome. I am so happy to see you. And if you are stopping by again, welcome. You guys are the OG, you are the best. So in today's episode, I am going to be going through the 7th installment of The Loop, which is a short story I wrote when I was in university. And since we have gone so far into the story, I just want to say a little backstory, which is that I said before that this story was based on a dream that I had. That dream was actually based on an experience I was having. If you are a Nigerian viewer, the phrase ASU strike doesn't seem alien to you. What ASU strike is, for those who are not familiar with it, it's an abbreviation for Academic Staff of Universities Union, which is, as the name says, a union where staff of universities come together and call the government to check and balance how the treatment of staff is. So all this explanation aside, during ASU strike, when government have not met the needs of university staff, they basically close down the school indefinitely. Nobody goes to work, which means as students of the university, there is no school for you for an indefinite amount of time. So funny thing, I actually went on some form of ASU strike every single year of my university. Some for 5 months, some for as much as 8 months. But during that period of time, you are just sitting indefinitely waiting for God knows what to happen. So during one of these ASU strike periods, I was just sitting at home getting exhausted with the routine of life, and I was like, oh my God, it's just like I'm in a loop, it's just like I'm in limbo. And so that experience inspired this dream, and this dream inspired the story. So after all that story, I'm going to enter right into the main story, which is the 7th edition of The Loop, the 7th episode of The Loop. So don't move anywhere. In the last seconds of consciousness, before she blacked out, she thought she saw someone else behind the creature, hooded, holding a silver sword with eyes as blue as the eastern star, saying, "It is all over. Where you're wrong though is that it's over for you, beast." Ina woke up to chatter and laughter. For a moment she thought she had died and gone to a world beyond. Her eyes fluttered open to see a blurred figure which she didn't recognize, but the voices sounded familiar. She perceived an aroma like roasting meat and she said, "Where am I?" she said, blinking her eyes again. She saw Mommy and Molly sitting around the fire with an unfamiliar person. The person wore a hood and a sword was behind him. At once she remembered that it was the same person she had just seen before passing out. "She's awake," Mommy said. "Rest," the stranger said as he moved closer to Ina. He had noticed her staring and had come to attend to her. His voice was deep and smooth and gave Ina a certain warmth. He removed his glove, felt her forehead and helped her to sit up. "This should help with the dizziness." He gave her a cup of warm liquid, which turned out to be tea. As she sipped it, she started to have her bearing. She stared at him steadily for a while. Her eyes met those blue eyes again. It was the only part of his face she could see, for it was already dusk, but it was so beautiful and it fascinated her just as the eastern star had. She realized that she was staring and looked away. Oh my God, this is so cringy. She noticed that the scratches from the hedge had been bandaged. "Thank you," she said. "You saved us from beasts. Who are you?" How did she know he saved them from beasts? "My name is Guardi and Protector." Did I just name him Guardian and Protector? What is with me and naming characters in this story? "My name is Guardi and Protector. I am the guardian of the loop, so it is my duty to protect you all." I already know that you are running from Miss Darkheart and trying to get to Diamond Rock. They told me everything, and honestly, I thought Breeched Cottage was a myth. I suspected that the source of Miss Darkheart's power was despicable, but I never knew that she was stealing people from outside the loop and forcing them to embed their essence in their life blankets. We know, you don't have to re-explain everything the characters already know just to show that you have caught up with what is happening. He pulled his hood back to reveal his face. The word to describe him was stunning, knightly, charming. His hair was jet black and shiny and contrasted with his icy blue eyes. Why did he choose to remove his hood until now? A fresh cut was on his flawless face and blood dripped from it. Emah was in a daze. He seemed to have intoxicated her, and she stretched her hand slowly and touched the cut, smearing the blood across his chiseled cheek. What am I writing? No more comment. I'm not going to make any comment. I'm going to read it as whole as it is. Oh, that was from Beast, probably. It was quite a fight before I vanquished him. That was one cruel creature, but we know Miss Darkheart won't stop there, Emah. We should expect more traps. Her name sounded like music coming out of his lips. Emah did not know what was wrong with her. Was it the poison that affected her? Why did this strange new man turn her into mush? Every time she looked at him, she felt something like a rush of blood within her chest. She felt almost ecstatic. She looked around everywhere else except his eyes. Baby was lying fast asleep, and the other girls were eating some of the roasted rabbit which Gardy was cooking. They sat under a tree, and Emah could see the stars peeking out like crystals behind the leaves in the dark blue in the dark blue backdrop of the sky. The poison really took a toll on Baby. She needs rest. He smiled at Emah. You are really a fighter, Emah, though not much of a talker. You use your sheer will to keep yourself conscious despite the poison. And the way you rescue the girls from the maze, truly heroic. Emah blushed. Thanks. I think Crystalline referred to you. She said there is help on the other side. Crystalline? Gardy said. Was she in the cottage with you? Emah nodded sadly. Miss Darkheart brought her, but when she tried to escape, she killed her. Miss Darkheart is cruel. That is why I must get you to Diamond Rock as quickly as I can. Once she finds out about Beast's death, she will be very cross. The plan is to move quickly to Diamond Rock. The sooner you leave the loop, the safer you will be from her. This man was in control of everything. Somehow, everything that didn't make sense made sense because of him. He was like the Deus Ex Machina of her story, perfection personified. Because of him, she thought she might finally be able to fight the impending sense of hopelessness that had been creeping upon her. That feeling which she had been trying so desperately to fight. Emah looked at the empty cup of tea. It had really helped. She imagined what would happen if Gardy had not come. She wondered more about this strange attraction to him. There were so many things which she did not understand that she just waited to see the light. The light in his eyes. Emah could not sleep that night. She watched as the other girls lay fast asleep and Garden sharpened his sword by the dying embers of the night. Oh my god, this character is just like a caricature of any cool knight. Like, his character is just, I'm a cool knight, sharpening my sword in the dead of night. Emah sat by a tree trunk wondering about her world. She didn't know what lay there. This adventure seemed overwhelming enough. What surprises awaited her in her world? Was it free of strife, or were there even more trials? She pondered on the kind of experiences she would face. What kind of people were there? Were they as cruel as Miss Darkheart, or as kind as Gardy? Between thoughts, she lifted her eyes to see him standing before her, smiling as usual. You've had quite a day, he said as he sat down beside her. Emah smiled softly. Yeah, today was really something. I've never really known anything apart from Breeched Cottage and Miss Darkheart's tasks. Living there was just like being in a chokehold and not knowing it. The loop itself is like breathing in and not being able to breathe out. Its entire existence is an incomplete story. You just get so sick of nothing changing, doing the same things again and again. It's like a trap and you can't escape. What is worse than being trapped is not knowing that you are. He stared at the sky. There is comfort in an end, you know. You should be happy that you are going home. The ideas of the loop seemed to tighten his chest. I get really scared when I think of what is waiting for me in my world. You don't have to be. At least you have a world. Your existence has a use. Gardy said to her sadly. His eyes glistened like a melancholic river. What about you? Where is your world? How did you get here? Ina somehow felt the pain which he felt. I can't really remember. All I know is that one story ended and another began. It's only unfortunate that this one doesn't conclude, but I must spend my days guarding the loop because of people like Miss Darkheart. Evil prevails against space and time. Even in the loop, the balance between good and evil has to be maintained. So, guys, that's where I'm gonna stop for today's episode. I know it's a little bit short, but the story is progressing. They have met Gardy. The final fight is about to begin. So tell me what you thought about my story, which I know is cringy. But say it. Let's establish the fact that this story is cringy. Thanks everybody for watching. It has been Emah Purple once again. Have a nice day. Have a lovely day. Bye bye. And finally, before I forget, if you enjoyed what I read here and you want to get more of it as it comes out, just go down, click that subscribe button, click that subscribe button, click that subscribe button, click it, and you will get the story once it comes out. Thank you very much for watching. It has been Emah Purple. Bye.